I remember the day I realized I was no longer just a young woman working behind a counter in a small town bank, dreaming of someday breaking free from the limitations others had placed on me. I was only 25 then, fresh out of college, with nothing but a burning ambition tucked inside my chest and a quiet determination that refused to fade. I had started as a teller, the girl they called just a teller, as if that label defined my worth. Every morning, I would count the same stacks of bills, listen to the same dull complaints, and feel the weight of invisibility pressing down on me. But beneath that routine, I nurtured a secret, my hunger for more, for power, for control. I watched the banking executives with their tailored suits and polished shoes, envying their confidence, their influence. I knew I could do better. I had to. I spent nights poring over financial reports, devouring books on investments and market strategies, quietly sharpening my mind while others slept. I refused to let my humble beginnings define my future. Then came the turning point. The moment I decided to stop waiting for permission. When the opportunity arose to lead a small project, I seized it with everything I had. I studied every detail, worked tirelessly, and outperformed every expectation. That project was my launchpad. Soon, I was promoted, climbing the ranks faster than anyone predicted. But I knew that was just the beginning. I wanted to own the game, not just play it. I started secretly investing my savings, learning the subtle art of risk and reward. No one knew I was building an empire in the shadows. I kept my head down, pretending to be content with my official role, all the while orchestrating my next move. I remember the day I sat across from my boss, the man who once dismissed me as just a teller, and watched his eyes widen in disbelief as I presented my vision for a new financial strategy that would revolutionize our branch. When I finally bought out the entire branch, it was my quiet revenge. I saw the look in his eyes, shock, respect, maybe even a flicker of fear. I had turned my secret wealth into a weapon, and I wielded it with precision. I had earned my place, not just through skill, but through patience and relentless ambition. But that victory came with a cost. My family, my parents, they disowned me when I dared to chase my dreams beyond their expectations. They called me reckless, ungrounded, and told me I was betraying everything they stood for. I remember their cold words, the disappointment etched into their faces, the silence that followed every conversation. It hurt more than I could say. Yet I knew I was forging my own path, one that no one else could walk for me. I had to prove that ambition was not a sin, it was my right. Years later, when I had finally built a foundation of power and influence, they came knocking, begging for my advice, asking how I did it, how I turned my humble beginnings into a fortress of wealth. They wanted my help, my guidance. I looked at them, the same people who turned their back on me, and I realized that the greatest revenge was not in holding a grudge, but in standing tall and showing them that I had won, not just in the world of finance, but in life. I learned that revenge is a quiet victory, a slow-burning fire that consumes doubts and insecurities. It's about rising above betrayal and proving that even the darkest beginnings can lead to the brightest heights. If you love Helena's journey, like and subscribe to join her next chapter. And remember, no matter where you start, your ambition can carry you to places others only dream of. Keep fighting, keep dreaming, because your story isn't over yet.